Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the season finale of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. And season greetings to everybody. Uh, this is, of course, the last episode of Can't Wait Wednesdays for the year 2022. And when I made the announcement, I was happy because I had some extra days to kind of get into the Christmas spirit, if you will, and get ready for all the festivities. But then, believe it or not, I got sad. I got sad because I truly enjoy talking to all of you every week here on Can't Wait Wednesdays. But, you know, to be honest with you, there isn't like a million and one things coming out within the next 30 or 20 days that's worth doing three extra shows about. So I say, we'll just condense it into one. And who knows? Probably do more like that in the upcoming year. We'll see. We'll see. But I like to talk too much, so it probably still stay week to week. But what I can tell you is that this is the last show of the year, and we have quite a few movies still left to come out this year, and they're very interesting, and I'm very excited for. And none of them are Christmassy. There aren't any real Christmas movies coming out this year. Of course, that's no different from any year. You really don't get too many Christmas movies, popping up. Because, I mean, how many times can Santa Claus come down the chimney? Or just from this past weekend, come down the chimney and kill people. So we don't. It's not too many really jolly movies, but there are very interesting movies and exciting movies. Even a couple of series that have popped up this month, and I'm excited for. So let's start it off. Let's get it popping and start it off with this upcoming weekend, December the 9th. We have three very exciting films in their own right. We have a family film. We have a possible Oscar front runner, and we also have a retelling of a story that we got a version of a few months ago. And so this week, let's start off with over there on Disney Plus, a new, I guess you could say, version of a very popular film series, Night at the Museum, which starred Ben Stiller, the late great Robin Williams, and so many more. I enjoyed those films. I really did, and they really caught me by surprise. I wasn't really looking for much out of those movies, but I loved everybody involved. I loved Ben Stiller, and of course Robin Williams, and Sean Levy, who directed all three. Really, really love his films. But this go around, this is an animated film, and this is the sequel of sorts to the trilogy. And this is Night at the Museum Kamara. I think it's Kamara. Rises again. Like I said, it's an animated film. In this go around, we don't have the voice talents of Ben Stiller or none of the cast from the live action versions. But the plot of this is Jack Daly, the son of Larry, who was Ben Stiller, becomes the new night guard at the Museum of Natural History. However, when he forgets to lock the basement door, an old foe returns with a new plan to take over the world. I'm all for this. This looks good. The trailer actually looked good. I heard that they had made this a few months back, and I really wasn't anticipating it until I saw the trailer. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm like an animated version, because I still want to see Ben Stiller and all that. I know, of course, we lost Robin Williams, so he wasn't going to come back, but I wanted that feel. I still wanted to see mannequins come to life in there. I wanted to see all the dinosaur bones come to life and stuff like that in live action. But it was what it was. We got three movies of that, three live action versions of that. So hey, you could do more with animation, so that's fine. But it looks good. I like the animation style, so I'm all on board for it. So this Friday on Disney Plus, December the 9th, we're getting Night at the Museum, Kamara's Rise Again. All right, now over on Netflix, we have another version, another version of a tale, a age old tale, and it's not really old if you saw the version that was on Disney Plus. I think in June, maybe, or August. I don't even think it was that far back. Pinocchio. Yeah, we just got a Pinocchio that was directed by Robert Zemeckis, starred Tom Hanks, and it wasn't all that good. it wasn't. It was all right at best, and I'm being very lenient with it. It did nothing for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. So to get two Pinocchio films in 1 year is a head scratcher. I mean, who was really clamoring for a Pinocchio movie? Um, we've seen Pinocchio. We've seen the animated version from Disney from years ago. We saw this live action version years ago from I can't remember the guy's name. He's Italian. Uh oh, it was just there on the tip of my tongue. Now I lost it. But anyway, it was dumb. Don't even worry about it. But we got the one from a few months ago, and now we getting another one. So it's like, what is gonna draw you to another Pinocchio? What what can they actually do to up the ante on Pinocchio to make me talk about it on this show? Well, number one is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who we all know from Shape of Water and Blade. Which Blade? It was the second one. He directed the second Blade. He directed the good Hellboy movies. He directed uh so many films, so many awesome movies, and he directed this. And it isn't animation. It isn't live action. It is stop motion, and I'm all in. I haven't seen a stop motion picture in so long. We've seen stop motion probably thrown in a couple of movies over the past few years in like a scene or a flashback, and they want to get innovative and do it in stop motion or something like that. But nothing just a straightforward stop motion film. And if you don't know what stop motion is, think back to those old Sinbad movies, not the comedian, the old, the pirate. The Sinbad movie with the skeletons. He was fighting the skeletons and stuff. Those were stop motion. But the whole movie surrounded with this, and this is the perfect property to do this with. And I'm like, this is genius. And it took them, I think, 10, 12 years maybe to pull this off, because you got to understand, when you do stop motion, you have to move it and then like take a picture. It's like shoot a frame, go back, move it another inch, like when they're walking. So for every step, they got to stop, then shoot the picture, go back, take another step. And not just steps, every little motion, every little, a scratch or something, you got to keep doing that. And just imagine if you mess up, you got to start all over again. And they did the whole film like this. Kudos to them, man. I mean, just for that accomplishment, it has my attention. And I cannot wait to watch it. And I don't have to wait long. This Friday on Netflix, December the 9th, we're getting Pinocchio. And technically it is animation. They call it animation, but whatever. I don't care. I just want to see it. So on Netflix this Friday, Pinocchio. All right. The last film for this week is a film that, my God, I cannot wait for this movie. I was tempted to go see it last week when it was in limited release, but I got busy. Things happened, so it fell to the wayside. So I'm like, well, it's all good. It's gonna be on Apple TV Plus next week, so I'm good. And wouldn't you know, I have Apple TV Plus. Thank God. And this film is, I, I don't know why, because I don't care for slavery movies like this. Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all heard me say this millions of times before. I've seen slavery movies. I don't want to see any more. How many more times I got to see black people get whipped and all this here? I'm good. I'm good. I watch Roots. I don't need to see it depicted no more. I know it happened. Pretty sure I have ancestors. I'm 100% sure I have a great grandfather or mother who went through this. So it's not nothing that I need to see. In any event, this particular story has so many layers to it, to whereas I have to watch this movie. Number one is about, if you ever seen the picture of the slave, he's sitting in a chair and they show his back, and it looks like somebody took a cheese grater and just raked it down his back, and all you see is this flesh just hanging on. It's a black and white picture, it's not that gruesome, but it's gruesome. And it is the most disgusting thing you ever see. It's from all the whips, the lashes that he got. And this was to depict of what the slaves were going through. And that particular slave, or that freed slave, because he escaped, was a man named Peter. And that's all you know about Peter, is that picture. And I remember seeing that years ago, and may have seen it when I was at school. I don't recall, but I saw that picture, and it, for some strange reason, I was gravitated to that. Like the brutality of it, the brutality of slavery. And I was like, man, that is interesting. And I tried to research it and stuff. Didn't really find much about it. The story behind it. Well, this film here is based off of that man, off of that picture. And so I was like, okay, you have my attention. And this film stars Will Smith. And we're just under a year removed from the slap heard around the world, um, that got him banned from the Academy Awards and whatnot. It Look, at first when this happened with with this slap, um, I was disgusted. I was really disgusted, and it's still a disgusting act. It really was, but I'm over. I really am, and that's not because this movie is coming out and I want to see him in this movie. I'm just over it. I'm done with it, and the reason is Will Smith didn't slap me. He slapped Chris Rock. Okay, so if Chris Rock has moved on, and I'm assuming he hadn't said anything. It ain't like he's suing Will Smith or anything. He's not coming out bashing Will Smith or nothing like that. At least that I've heard. If he's willing to move on from it, I can move on from it, and we all can move on from it. It's done. There are people who have done 10 times worse than what Will Smith did on that stage, and nobody bats an eye. If nobody says nothing, they're not banned from nothing. They're not canceled. They're not none of that. So let's let it go. And I say that because critics who have seen this film says this is the best performance Will Smith has ever given, and he deserves an Academy Award win, not nomination, win. It was better, 10 times better than what he did in King Richard. And full disclosure, I watched King Richard. It was a all right movie. it wasn't his best performance. I didn't really sit there watching this movie and I was like, oh man, Will Smith got this. I don't know where this come from. I don't know why he won. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sorry. Nail me to the cross. My bad. But I just didn't see it. It was a good movie. It was a good performance, but nothing that I would say, oh man, that's an Academy Award winning performance there. But he did win, even though he sacrificed his career almost for it. But this movie, and did I say the name? Emancipation. This movie looks beautiful. It's shot in, at least going by the trailer, and I'm assuming the whole movie looks like this, in black and white. Um, it looks like a gritty escape from this brutality that this character Will Smith is playing. Um, is going through. Uh Antoine Fuqua directed this film, and I'm a big fan of Antoine Fuqua. He directed Tears of the Sun, The Replacement Killers, many other films. Action. He's a primary action director, but he does do uh thriller drama types because he also directed Training Day, which won Denzel Washington an Academy Award. So the man knows how to direct, and I'm a big fan of his work. Not so much of that last movie he did with Mark Wahlberg that was on Paramount Plus. That movie was horrible, but that's besides the point. This movie looks amazing, and I pray that Will Smith, and I know I'm going on a long time about this movie because I'm real passionate about this because I feel people need to let stuff go. We hold on to stuff way too much. And I say we because I'm included in that. We'll hold a grudge, and after a while, we'll forget why we holding a grudge. We'll forget why we're mad. We're just mad. We just remember that we should be mad at this person, place, or thing, and don't even know why. And I don't think that's fair. And I don't think it's fair to not so much. Let's take Will Smith out the equation. The other filmmakers, actors, and everybody involved in this production, to bash this movie or not included in any Academy Award consideration. Now I'm saying all this, and I haven't seen the movie. I could watch this movie this weekend and think it stinks, which it could do. It could. It really could. But I just got to feel it. I got to feel it. And I think it's going to be an awesome film. But this Friday, December the 9th, I won't have to speculate anymore. I can see it for myself as well as you. Emancipation on Apple TV Plus. I can't wait for this movie. I'm super excited, if you can't tell. So that's it for this week. But let's move on to next week. Starting on December the 13th is a mini series that, once again, I have no idea what this is about. I don't know. It just looks crazy and kind of out of this world. But that's my cup of tea. I'm a crazy and out of this world kind of guy. And this is based off a novel from Octavia Butler called Kindred. And it is premiering on Hulu December the 13th. And the premise of this show is a young aspiring writer discovers secrets about her family's past when she finds herself mysteriously being pulled back and forth in time to a 19th century plantation. So I want to see, and once again, as I stand on my soapbox and yell, I don't want to see no more slavery stuff. I got 2 back-to-back slavery things that I want to watch. And so I guess I'm changing my tune on that. But these 2 different properties, I'm going back to Emancipation and Kindred. They're different takes. They're told from different perspectives. So I'm cool with that. You know, I don't want to see it from the perspective of the, you know, typical slave movie that we've grown accustomed to seeing. But these are different perspectives, and this has kind of a sci-fi element to it. So that got my attention. And so that's all I know about the show. It ain't really, it doesn't have any big stars in it per se, but the story alone is enough to get me to watch. So December the 13th on Hulu, we have Kendrick, as well as on FX as well. But I think it's mainly going to be on Hulu. Now, moving on over to December the 16th, we have probably the biggest movie of the month, if not one of the biggest movies of the year, if not biggest movie of the decade, if you want to go by anticipation. We have Avatar, The Way of Water. Yes, Avatar 2. Finally, after 13 years. It's been 13 years. Avatar came out in 2009. After 13 years, we are finally getting the sequel to this game changer. I'm not going to call it a classic, but a game changer. As far as special effects and the way motion capture was filmed and stuff like that, and the 3D technology. Oh my God, it caused everybody to make 3D movies. They turned romantic comedies into 3D movies around that time because of the juggernaut that was Avatar. And I went to see Avatar. I remember going to watch that film in IMAX, and I was late. I was I was late, and this was before you pre-ordered your seats. You know, pick your seats like you can now. This was right before that started, and I didn't get to pick a seat, and I had to sit at the bottom of the theater in 3D in IMAX. It was the worst film going experience in my life, even though I caught 3 migraines trying to watch it, because being as though I was sitting up so close in the biggest movie screen on earth, so I had to move my head, in 3D with 3D glasses on and all this. It was horrible watching that movie, and it wasn't the movie fault. It was just the fact that I'm sitting at the bottom. But that was the only time I had to go see it. I couldn't just go refund my tickets and pick another time. That was my window. that's how busy I was at the time. I had to see it at that time. So yeah, it was horrible. I did eventually go back to watch it, but this time I didn't see it in 3D, but it was still good. And it was a phenomenon. It was nominated for Best Picture. It made $1 billion, and at the box office, it's still ranked up there, one of the highest grossing films. But I think Black Panther, the first Black Panther, overtook it, or they tied, something like that. I forgot what they said. But in any event, after the wait, we're finally getting the sequel, The Way of Water. And this is the first of 4 or 5 sequels. I think James Cameron announced that he was doing 5 of them or something like that. Something stupid. It's like, man, you really gonna make what? How much can you milk out of Pandora? I don't know how many more stories you could tell. Now, this looks interesting. This I'm excited for, because they're going into the water. That there's water people now. So, which is funny, because it's the second film this year we're going to see blue water people. If you saw Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and that was done beautifully, and those were real people. So I want to see how they're going to do with these computer animated characters. But nonetheless, I'm excited for this, as everybody else is. I don't know if it's going to be the big juggernaut like Avatar was, because that's that was something that we didn't see. We'd never seen nothing like this at that time. It was new, it was fresh, it was innovative. And I think the window closed, to be completely honest with you, as far as the excitement level, because it's been 13 years. 13 years. My kids was in elementary school when this film came out. They're in college now. So it's like, uh, I don't know. Now my daughter, my oldest daughter, she is excited. She loves Avatar. So she is excited for it. She can't wait to go see it. And I can't wait to go see it, you know? It looks good. You know, and it's James Cameron. When has James Cameron led us down the wrong track? Let us count the ways. We have Terminator, Terminator 2, Aliens, True Lies, uh, um, uh, Titanic. Come on, man. I mean, where has he let The Abyss? Where else should I keep going? Avatar. I mean, the dude has never struck out. I guess they say never. We'll see with this. Now they already filmed part 3. They filmed it at the same time as this, so that's in the bag. So regardless, we're going to get a part 3. Hopefully, prayerfully, it won't take 13 years. I mean, you already shot it, so it should be relatively fast. But we shall see. Avatar, The Way of Water. Oh, in the premise, I can tell you what the premise was. The premise goes as this: set more than a decade after the events, no kidding, right? And a decade after the events of the first film, Avatar: The Way of Water tells the story of Sully's family, the trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, and battles they fight to stay alive, and tragedies they endure. So we shall see how this plays out. You know, it looks like it's going to be some action in it. Of course, it looks action packed. I guess the final battle or whatever, while they riding these sea creatures and all this here. Look, I'm all in. Another tidbit here: Kate Winslet joins this cast. Kate Winslet, of course, worked with James Cameron on Titanic, so it's good to see them reunited for this. She plays a character here. We also have Sigourney Weaver returning, which is weird. It's weird how they're going to explain this, because she died in the first one. Spoilers for a 13-year-old movie. So I want to see how that goes. But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care I don't care. I just want to see this movie, and I don't have to wait long. Avatar: The Way of Water will be released in theaters December the 16th. All right. Now, on to the 21st of December. That's my best friend's birthday. December the 21st, we have a sequel to a spinoff of a sequel, if that makes any sense. And it is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I'm a big Puss in Boots guy. I loved that first film from Puss in Boots. Now, we all know that Puss in Boots is a spinoff from the Shrek films. And, of course, I love Shrek. You know what's funny? And I'm not ashamed to admit this. Me and my friend went to go see Shrek in the theater. Now, it was full of kids. But we were pretty much the only adults who were kidless at the time. And went to go see that movie. I didn't care. This looks so it was so much fun. I love Shrek to this day. I can quote you every line from Shrek. I love Shrek. Now the sequels, they kind of digressed every one after that. They were all right, but we got Puss in Boots out of it, and that was a very fun character of this little kitty voiced by the probably the most powerful, sexiest voice you could ever hear, and that's from Antonio Banderas. And he just puts this suave sexiness to this voice to this little kitty. It is so out of place. If you look at that on paper, you're like, that is the dumbest idea ever. Until you see it and until you hear it, you're like, oh my God, this is priceless. This is priceless. And he is returning to voice the character of Puss in Boots. I'm excited for that. I didn't think I would be, but I am because I just love that little character. It's funny, and what makes Shrek slash Puss in Boots movie so funny, kids love it. You know, it's funny for kids, but they find a way to weave in adult jokes that only adults can get. The kids will just sit there like, what is everybody laughing at? But if you're paying attention to the stuff they say, you you would die laughing because it's hilarious the way they do those jokes. And kudos to the writers of those films because it's very smart to hide that. I mean, it's nothing lewd, it's nothing, derogatory or nothing like that. Well, wait, I just thought of one. Well, anyway, the kids don't know. They probably get older and watch it like, what? This was in the movie. They said that. They did that. Yeah, it was in the movie. But in any event, this looks cute. Perfect little Christmas movie for the whole family to go see. December the 21st in theaters. We're getting Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Over on Peacock, we got something that is, man, once again, I asked this question about Willow. Like, did we need a sequel series to Willow? And I'm enjoying Willow because, I mean, it's not setting the world on fire. It's basically just a continuation of Willow. I mean, of the movie. It is what it is. But I said the same thing about this property. And every time they give you a sequel, it goes up another level to me. Even though the sequels weren't as good as the original, they were still very good. Now we're getting a TV show with all the characters returning. The Best Man, the final chapters. It is going to be on Peacock. Like I said, everybody's returning. Taye Diggs, Morris Chestnut, Regina Hall, Terrence Howard, Sanaa Lathan, Nia Long. Everybody's coming. Everybody came back for this, and it is a 8-episode series. They all drop at the same time, so you can binge them. And I'm so happy for this. And the writer and director of the first 3 films is returning as well to write and direct these episodes. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this. I didn't think I wanted this, but I want this. I want this so bad. And hey, perfect time for Christmas. It's weird because the last entry into this franchise was the best man holiday, where it was set around Christmas. Now 3 days before Christmas, we're getting this series. But hey, who cares? Once again, The Best Man, the final chapter. So this was it. Malcolm Lee, who is the creator of this, he said this is it. No more Best Man movies. That's it. No more shows and stuff like that. So that's cool. I'm cool with that. So I will be checking it out on Peacock, all 8 episodes, man. This is going to be exciting. Moving on, the next day in theaters, we have something that, once again, I was excited at first. I saw the trailer for this. I didn't even know they made this movie. That's how crazy it is. when I went to go see The Woman King, and they showed the trailer for this movie before that, I'm like, what is this? What is this? And the trailer had me emotional, because I'm a big fan of Whitney Houston. At least I was, before she passed away, God rest her soul. And I didn't know they made a biopic. Now I know that, what was it, Lifetime made a bio a few years ago, and it was Lifetime. So whatever. you you already know that it wasn't. It was Lifetime. But anyway, so they made one, and they're releasing it this month, December the 23rd to be exact. And it's called I Want to Dance with Somebody. Of course, we all know that was her big hit in the 80s. And I must say, when I first saw the trailer, I was excited, man. I got emotional. My wife, she leaned over to me. She's like, what happened? What you crying for? And I said that trailer, that Whitney Houston movie, that got me. And she kind of just looked at me strange. And I was like, well, look, she always looks at me strange. I don't know. But anyway, this had me like, oh man, I cannot wait for this. Something happened like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, maybe, where I saw the trailer again and I had zero emotion. I did not care. I don't know I don't know. I don't know what it is. I want to see the movie, but I'm not excited no more. And I'm kind of, I guess it's because, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's coming to me. I guess it's because I don't want to see them make another Lifetime movie. Now, I didn't watch the Lifetime movie about Whitney Houston, but I don't want to see a Lifetime movie about Whitney Houston. That's why I didn't watch it on Lifetime. If we're going to do it, let's do it. If you're going to make a film about Whitney Houston, you need to be a completely honest storyteller. And I'm saying that because we all know Whitney Houston. Well, knew her. We all know that she was not an angel. She did some things in her life that were sketchy, to put it kindly. And I mean, she didn't hurt nobody or kill nobody, but I'm talking about with drugs and all this other stuff. And so if you're going to tell the story, tell the story. And I got a feeling that this movie just is not going to go there. It just feels happy and bubbly. And I don't want that. I want the real. But I'm being judgmental and I haven't even seen the film. It could go that way. We'll find out because I'm going to go see the movie. But I'm just hoping and praying that they do it right. Now, the actress who is portraying Whitney Houston in this film is Naomi Ackie. I don't know her. I haven't seen her in anything before. I think she's English. I think she's from Britain. But she is black, of course. I would hope they didn't cast a white woman as Whitney Houston. But it's not out the realm of possibility. I've seen them cast a white man as Michael Jackson in a movie before, so don't act like this. I'm being crazy. No, they've done this before, but also stars Stanley Tucci and many others. But this looks interesting. It looks interesting. Maybe by the time this film is about to come out, I'll get excited. I'll regain my excitement so I can enjoy it in a different way. Because right now I'm just gonna go see it to go see it. But I want to see it with a level of excitement, and hope and pray that this actress does her justice. So I Want to Dance with Somebody dances into the theaters 2 days before Christmas, December the 23rd. All right. The last can't wait of 2022. This is a film, once again, super excited for. This is like last but not least type territory. It just so happened to be the last film that I'm talking about, but this is one of my highly anticipated movies of this year. Um, it is the sequel to Knives Out, and it is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. And I loved Knives Out. I've said it on this show many, 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 many times. I'm a huge murder mystery guy. I love murder mysteries. Um, I can watch them till my face turn blue. It all started with Clue, the movie Clue, which was a comedy, but I loved it. And I got into those ensemble cast murder mystery type deals. Watching Detective Poirot on PBS and stuff like that, and then to watch Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile and stuff like that. I even watched this movie with Sam Rockwell about a month ago called Now or See How They Run or something to that effect. I think that was the name of it. But I enjoyed that. It was a murder mystery. Knives Out was so smart and funny and had you guessing. And that's the type of when you watch a murder mystery, you want to be guessing. You don't want to figure it out within the first 5 minutes. Oh, they did it, or she did it. I want to get taken on a ride. And Knives Out did that perfectly. And along the way, it was such a funny, intriguing story. And it was directed and written by Ryan Johnson, who returns to write and direct this one. And I got all the confidence in the world with him. Once again, Ryan Johnson only let me down one time. Other than that, he has made some awesome films. Brick, Looper, Knives Out, of course. Now he did The Last Jedi, the Star Wars film, and anybody who seen that one, I think is universally known for being the most diverse Star Wars film ever because it was. I don't want to talk about it anyway. This looks good. Returning from the first film, we have Daniel Craig reprising his role as Master Detective Benoit Blanc. And it did, bruh, Daniel Craig with that southern drawl that he had in Knives Out. And, this is James Bond. So I'm thinking we're going to get this suave detective and all. No, it wasn't that. And he gave this little nuance to his character that I just enjoyed immensely. And the film was just amazing. And he returns with an all new all-star cast, and a whole new mystery. Along with Daniel Craig, we have Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Omar Jr., Dave Batista, and the list goes on. This looks fun. This looks exciting. And I wanted to check this one out in theaters when it was released earlier, but it wasn't around me. It was in limited release, so it didn't have too many theaters to play in. But we're in luck because on December the 23rd, it will be released on Netflix because this is a Netflix film. I am so happy. I'm so happy. I've been waiting on this forever, ever since they said they were doing a sequel. Actually, they're doing, I think, two or three sequels with the deal that they have with Netflix. So this we're going to see much more of Benoit Blanc. So this is exciting to me. I can't wait for this. It looks good. It looks like we have some quirky characters, just like we did in the first film. Uh, a, a mystery that's going to have us scratching our head. Let's go. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, will drop on Netflix December the 23rd. Everybody, that's the show. That's your can't waits. The last can't waits for the year 2024. 2022. Oh, what a year, huh? We had some really good films come out this year. Normally it's easy to go through my little top 10 of the year. This year was tough. This year I had to leave off some some really really good movies, and I'm hurt by that, to be honest with you. But this was a good year, and we still have a few more films as we just listed to go. Who knows? Maybe a couple of these movies might bump off something else that I have on the list this year. We'll have to wait and see, because I will have the best of the year show at the end of the year. So be prepared for that. Everybody, it has been an exciting year, not just in film, but talking to all of you. And I said around Thanksgiving that I was thankful. What I was most thankful for is you, my audience that continues to support this show. And I mean that. I said it then, that it wasn't just Thanksgiving. I'm giving thanks. It's every single day. And I mean that too. I thank you. I thank you for supporting this show throughout this whole year. This show has been a huge success, and it's all because of you. And I thank you for it. Can't wait to speak to you next year as we go over our most anticipated of the year. That'll be the first show of 2023. And so until then, everybody, be safe. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. all the happies that is associated with this season. And I thank you all. Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll see you on the other side of the new year. Want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another. And until we speak again, you all be blessed.